To scorn or not to scorn? Well, that decision is pretty simple. I'll tell you why in a bit, but first, who is Scorn? Alright, let me refer to my handy symbiote family tree here. Ah yes, the spawn of Carnage. See, at one point, Carnage, both Cletus Cassidy and the symbiote, were flown into space by the Sentry and, well, ripped in half. The symbiote survived and put Cletus in a coma, keeping him alive. Enter this guy, Michael Hall. His company makes prosthetics that read the minds of their wearers. How? Through symbiotes. Now, if only he had a symbiote to test on. Oh hey, isn't there a symbiote floating around in space? Let's save it and use it, he thought. Well, Michael Hall used the Carnage symbiote to create hybrid prosthesis consisting of both technology and symbiote. And then there's Tanis Nieves, a psychiatrist who unfortunately bonded with the escaped Carnage symbiote while she was wearing a prosthetic arm. The Carnage symbiote used Tanis to free Cletus, and upon doing so, abandons Tanis, not before leaving behind a little present. You see, growing on her prosthetic arm was the spawn of Carnage, a new symbiote that would later be named Scorn. Now, what made Scorn a very unique symbiote was that it had all the usual symbiote powers, superhuman everything, wall crawling, that kind of stuff, but it could also interface with technology, being born in a tech-symbiote hybrid device, right? Scorn, both the host and the symbiote, unfortunately met their end at the hands of Carnage during the Absolute Carnage storyline. In Marvel Snap, Scorn is a 1-energy, 2-power card with the ability, when you discard this, return it to your hand and give +2 power to itself and one of your cards in play. So, Scorn is the most archetype-specific card of the season, so the decision to get her or not, well, it's pretty straightforward. Do you like playing this card? More specifically, the discard more style of play, not the hella discard archetype. So basically something like this, right? In fact, you could easily swap Meek out for Scorn in this case right here, and you're good to go, because you got multiple options to discard Scorn here, not only to give her the +2 buff, but also buff one of your other cards in play. So cards like Blade will discard her if she's the rightmost card in your hand. Colleen Wing, who usually is used to discard Swarm, can easily discard Scorn as a 1-cost, right? Swordmaster, recently buffed and ready to discard Scorn because she's odd-costed, and of course MODOK, who discards your entire hand. You could even consider Dakin, because if he gets the Scorn buff, then you discard his Blade. Well, that's more power that he's doubling, though I don't think it's going to be very reliable. Scorn's buff is random after all. Anybody who plays this card is going to be packing Scorn, so hey, to counter that, pack Shadow King. Scorn comes to the spotlight caches with Jean Grey and Sebastian Shaw, 2 cards that, while fun to brew with, are not very meta, so unless you really want to try them out, I would just get Scorn using tokens. Which, like I said, solely depends on whether you like to or want to play the discard more style of deck. So the answer to the question,